Welcome to this new behind the scenes video. In this rather special episode you will get a small insight into flight instructor training. As some of you might have known, I went through flight instructor training this year and successfully passed the exam in November 2013. Now I am a flight instructor FIA according to the EU FCL. As the training had certain interesting aspects like simulator training or abnormal attitudes, I want to share those moments with you. It's quite interesting as you do stuff that you normally don't do in an airplane, and you learn a lot about yourself and your trust to the airplane. The following scenes will give you an insight into simulator training. Out of 30 hours of flight training, 5 hours could be done on an FNPT-2 simulator. We would teach real students in teams of 2. One flight instructor trainee would sit in the simulator, while the other was manning the observer station. The exercises would include basic navigation by instruments, so that the student is able to keep a heading and an altitude, and then would advance to more basic navigation via VORs and NEBs. For example, intercepting radials or flying on specific QDMs and QDRs. The flight training included a lot of dead stick landings, where the engine power would be cut to idle and you have to glide the airplane down to safety. As this is one of the basic exercises you have to teach a student, it's necessary to master it in any situation. The good thing is, you can be as creative as you want. It's not always the best option to stick to your published best glide speed, especially when you're too low and too far away. Then you want to fill the gap, and if altitude permits, you can trade altitude for airspeed. Other way around, if you are still too high, there are certain ways to bleed off speed and altitude, and slipping the plane is just one option out of many. We would practice the same with off-airport landings. During cruise, the engine power was cut, and then I had to fly the airplane down to the ground. The tricky part here is to find a suitable field and then plan your approach, as you have to trade off altitude for airspeed. Another interesting part about the training was the recovery of unusual attitudes, including spins. But it actually isn't that easy to get a Cessna 152 into a spin.
Here I come, you spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, round, round. You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, round, round.
Other unusual attitude recovery was done as follows. The flight instructor would bring the aircraft into an extreme attitude. In the worst case, that might happen with a real student, and at a certain point he would just let go of the controls and I had to recover that attitude. Additional exercises focused on the familiarization on another aircraft type and generally mastering your skills when flying the airplane from the right-hand seat. And of course your instructor would have a lot of fun playing the student, and while you were explaining an exercise to him, he would exactly do as you said.